Hi everybody, my name's Amy James and I'm Simply Needlecraft in Derbyshire. It's just a quick video on how to make a tote bag, a lined tote bag, like this one. So I'm using 100% cotton, let me just get rid of that. But you can do this bag in whatever material you've got really. Denim ones look quite nice and you can do them in whatever size you want. So this one I'm making today is 18 inches by 16, I think, or roughly. So you're going to need two of whatever size you choose out of your main material, so the material we're going to use on the front. Two pieces for the lining. I've used a plain lining, you can use whatever you want. And then with your handles, I'm going to be using the lining of this one because I like the contrast, but you can use the same as the outside. But the handles are measuring 6 inches by about 20, and you need two of those because you've got two handles. So you're going to need to work on the handles first of all. So the way I do my handles is I'm going to iron. I'm not going to measure it, just going to wing this bit. So the raw edge into the middle of the strap. And just give it a quick iron. And then you fold the other raw edge in to meet that edge. Like that. And then you fold the ironed edge over to the other ironed edge and then iron that in place. You can pin this bit afterwards as well if you want to hold it a little bit more. I normally do, but we're just going to wing it today a little bit. So the thread I use as well for all sewing and for quilting as well is the Gutterman Sew-All. One mainly because my machines won't use cheap thread, it just snaps, and your bag will last longer if you use a good quality thread. So that's your strap ready to go. I'm using a contrast colour today so you can see my stitches, plus I've got grey on the main bit of the fabric, so it just gives it a nice contrast. We want to sew a line down that edge there, that will close this part, and then we're going to do another line down there as well, just to make the strap a little bit stronger. If you've got the ability to move your needle over to the right hand side on your machine, you can see that, do that because it makes it a little bit easier. And I'm just going to sew about 1 millimetre from that edge there, okay? If my machine works, there we go, plug it in. Straight line. You can use a decorative stitch as well at this point if you wanted to brighten up your handle a little bit. That's one line done. You can see it's quite close to the edge there. So we're going to do exactly the same down the other side. So that's one handle done. You can just cut your threads off there. bit. So you need to do that to both the handles. So once you've done that, now it's the time to mark on the main part of the bag. Right, so I haven't picked the easiest to demonstrate because this hasn't got a right side or a wrong side on this fabric, I don't think, anyway. So if you're using a fabric that has got a right side and a wrong side, you need to put its right side down so you can see the back of the fabric. So you're going to place your lining down first, and then you're going to place your handles in a U shape like that, not making sure it's not twisted there. And if you just kind of overlap by about an inch, and then roughly you've got the same measurements at each side. You can measure it out at this point if you wanted to. Right, so then you're going to lay your outside fabric on top, remembering right side down. I could have picked an easier fabric. And you're just going to pin along this top part here. Make sure you pop a pin where your handles are, because you don't want them to move when you start sewing. Like that. So we're just pinning right to the edge, and we're going to sew a line across there, and make sure if you've moved your needle over to the right, just make sure you move it back into the centre. Right, so we're going to sew, if I just move my pin cushion in there. Right, so we're going to sew a line across here. A little bit stronger. So you need to do that for both handles and both sides of the bag. I'm going to move this line out of the way. This thread off. Right, so you're going to have two parts that look like that. Okay, so the next thing to do is lie your pieces out. Again, this is right side to right side. So you've got your seams on the outside. Then we're going to pin all the way around the bag, making sure that your handles aren't getting caught up in the pinning. And if you start with your edge seams and match them up first, because we want the bag to be level around the top. So I'm just going to match that one and then match that one. Right, so that's the most important bits pinned. So now we're just going to go around and pin around the edge. Hopefully not going to run out of pins. This is the boring bit of pinning. I do all the kids' lessons and I say, right, you've got to pin that. They just roll their eyes at me. Right, so I'm just going to pop ones in there. Right, so you also need to pin your lining as well. I need some music on in the background. I don't normally do any sewing without any music on. Right, so now we've got to sew all round here, but we need to leave a gap in the bottom of the lining. I've not got a pen to mark, but sometimes it's easier if you mark just so it reminds you when you get round there not to sew. So you probably want a gap about 3 inches. So my advice to you is start there, sew all the way around and then finish there. So I'm just going to change that pin round that way to show me when to stop. So right, again I'm using a contrasting thread. You can use a thread that matches your fabric. A little way off. Put your needle down, put your foot up and then turn it round. That means you're not going to have a hole in your corner where you've missed sewing. Put the needle down. Little way off, put your needle down, spin your fabric round. Nearly there. Right, and then trim these off. Right, so before I turn the bag around, I'm going to trim the corners off, and that's only because if I turned it around and tried to push the corners out, with the fabric being like in the way, it actually makes a curve, not a point. So the way you're going to get around that is each 4 corners, you're going to trim them diagonally, but not on your stitches. You don't want to hold. So that's it, we're just going to put them off first. Right, so now we can pull the bag through. and then you can push your corners out. If you've got a pen or a pencil, this can help me do this as well. On the corners. There we go. Right. So we're going to close this gap now that we've left. So, so you can hand sew it if you wanted to, or the easiest thing to do is fold your edges in where the hole is and pop a pin like that. Right, again, I move your needle over to the right, and if you wanted to, you could just sew along the gap, but I tend to sew right across the bottom of the bag as well to close the gap. So now we can pop the lining inside of the bag. Right, so now you can iron it at this point. But I'm just going to do this quickly. So that's it, it's done. You could leave it like that, however, I like to top stitch around the bag as well at the top, because then it stops the lining coming through like that. So if we top stitch around that, that's going to make it nice and secure, so that doesn't happen. So on your machine, machines have got the ability to take the main part of the machine off, like so, and then we're going to place that on there. Again, I'm going to leave the needle to that right hand side, and I'm going to start top stitching on one of the seams going round. So all you're going to do is sew a nice straight line. Again, at this point you can use a decorative stitch, going round, make sure your handle is nice and flat. And just making sure as you go around that your lining isn't poking out the top. Stitches, out. Put the threads off, just go around, make sure you've got all the threads hanging out. There you go. It does need an iron. Yeah, so just need an iron. There you go, it's not too bad. Yeah, right, so again you can make this out of any material. If it's a really thin material, you can add stabiliser just to make it a little bit more stable, but that's it, and you can make it whatever size that you want. So if you have a go, make sure you send me your pictures. Okay, take care.